Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. It is Sovereign Saturday. You have to have discipline to live a sovereign life. Now this is very important because, for years I've talked about being a sovereign man and I've talked about discipline before, but this is one of those things I really have to hammer home. You got to be disciplined to live that life. You have to be disciplined just to live any life, because no matter what, because you got to stay on that path. You got to be disciplined, because you working to live a sovereign life. And I wish, like, once you reach a point that you could always stay there and it's just like you can sit back and chill. Nah, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. Like, say you get to a point you making a lot of money and you can live in that nice house, get that nice car. Okay, but you got to keep that up. You got to keep that up. You got many people, they got a successful business, they working on a good job, but on these jobs you got layoffs. And depending on the business you have, you can be affected if, like, you doing some business to business work or you working with some other business or something. That can affect you. That's one thing. If we're talking about this entire economy, that's affecting everybody, and you got to stay disciplined. So yes, you want to go through those peaks. You want to go through those peaks, but then you also have to get through those valleys. You're going to have those down moments. I don't care how sovereign you are. You're going to have those down moments where things ain't going the same way. But that's where you really have to have discipline. So you have to have discipline to keep things going. You got to have discipline to get through those low moments. You have to have discipline. You have to keep it up, because you have many stories of people who will get to a certain level and they doing well, but they not disciplined. They might drink themselves to death, party too much, something like that. There's plenty of stories, tons of stories. You might have even seen it with some people in your own life. They get to a high level, but then they get complacent. They're not disciplined. They don't do the things that they've been doing. Now, you working to live a sovereign life, which means you want to be in control of what you can control and have leverage otherwise. As I've said before, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. There's no finish line with it. Once you get to a certain point, you have to keep going. And you got to be disciplined to do that. You got to be disciplined. Like when I talk about body game, let me use that as an example. Once you get your body to a point wherever you want it to be, you can't just say, oh, okay, I ain't going to work out anymore. You got to keep working out. You have to keep going. So if you have a business, you doing something, you staying out of trouble, like you like to be sovereign. You might not want to be smoking or drinking alcohol, using drugs. Okay, you can say that, but you got to keep going. You got to keep going. In fact, you have people who go through something like Alcoholics Anonymous, and they'll talk about how many days they went without drinking. And that's very important. They got to be disciplined no matter what it is. You have to be disciplined to stay out of trouble that could put you under the control of the state. You have to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined in your treatment of other people. You have to be disciplined. You have to keep going. You got to have it. Because when someone is undisciplined with something, when someone is undisciplined, at some point they put themselves under the control of somebody else. And definitely they don't have any leverage. In fact, the theys, as I would call them, people, everything from your family to, some big powerful people, they want you to be undisciplined. Because they know if once you undisciplined, you're not going to keep up with anything. You're going to keep going. All they had to do is wait you out. They know they're going to get what they want from you. You might tell them, nah, I ain't doing that. I ain't drinking that. I ain't going to get involved in that activity. And all they do is wait you out. Let's just be real. powerful people, they will wait somebody out. They like, well, okay, you going to do this. You going to say this next year. You going to say this 2 years from now. No, you got to keep going. You got to decide what you're going to do, and you got to keep it going no matter what. No matter what. All right? And you want to live that sovereign life. You want to have control over what you can control and leverage where you can't control. And you have to keep going, whatever you're doing. Like, let me use the substance abuse idea. Let me use that. That's a great example. Many people out here, they abusing some type of substance, be it alcohol, drugs, even cigarettes. Shoot, indeed, sometimes even food. But then you're allowing that to control you. In fact, I know I have a lady friend. She's really concerned because she keep taking sugar and all of that. She need to leave that alone. Indeed, many people who have some type of diabetes, that's the main thing. They can't have sugar as much, and they have to be disciplined with that. You got to stay with that. It's not like you get to a point and you stay there. Because remember, I said a sovereign life, not a sovereign location, a sovereign life. So no matter what it is, you have to keep going. Like you might want to be sovereign, like keeping a certain weight on. And I don't mean you gotta look like super in control, but let's use that weight example. Because you got many people out here, they're overeating. They go in that grocery store line, they see that candy, they just eating it. That could be another form of addiction. Gambling, that's a major thing. They telling people to gamble, but then they got other people saying, oh, okay, if you're having some problems gambling. I'm like, come on. Like you might have to say, you know what, I can't be gambling. Whatever is taking you away from living a sovereign life, you can't do it. And you got to have you have to have the ability not to change up, not to get caught up in it. If anything that's hurting you from living a sovereign life, you have to have the discipline not to do that. You have to have the thing to keep going. There's a certain term I use for discipline. I ain't going to give it now. You got maybe trademark it, something. But there's a term I use. Like if I'm in a gym or something, I use this term. I'm working out. Because look, y'all remember I had that medical emergency a few years ago. And I could probably get away. I could probably say, look, I did this. I don't have to be working out or something. But I gotta have discipline. After I record this and edit this, I'm headed right to the gym. But you have to have discipline to live that sovereign life. And you know, this is something. I'm gonna talk about it again. I don't know when. But I'm just letting you know, I'm going to talk about it again because that's a very important part, particularly for a man if he wants to live a sovereign life, all right? So anyway, that's all I have for today. Keep rising to become the sovereign man that you're meant to be. Peace and blessings.